Wake up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. As you can see, I have a mobile stand-up whiteboard now. So my office is coming together slowly but surely. I'm getting my other kind of setup going so that this fall and winter, when things are harder for me, I have multiple ways to stream. So I shouldn't miss many streams, but I should be more comfortable, which, is helpful. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing your Modly Mod stuff. Welcome, Colorado Mountain Girl, and Tammy, Janie J, Audio Coffee, Jude Curio, Swifty. Well, thank you. I'm telling you, you guys, I am afraid of AI, but it's kind of warming up to me. Like if Skynet comes in the form of making really funny memes and silly songs, I guess I'm here for it. And thank you, our AI overlords. Welcome, my Mini 67. And let's see. Welcome, everyone. Alice G. and Boom Her. Okay, so our first story. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of stories about the hurricane, but I will try to keep them at the front. If you are in the affected area or communities around, or you are affected by Hurricane Helene, my heart goes out to you. I know we are around my locality. Um, collecting donations and things like that, and praying that they get to the people that they need to get to, because I'm going to tell you what. Look, I am not a political channel. I think both sides are ridiculous. But when I saw that video of the hurricane, of the helicopter screwing around with supplies, y'all, you about saw the full-on hill chuck come out of me. I was ready. I was like, where is some Tupperware? We are throwing the bad Tupperware at this, helicopter. Just what an all-around jerky thing to do. Any hoozle. Why Tampa is the most vulnerable city in America for hurricane surges. So again, I know it is not possible for everyone to evacuate. There are real life things. People need money, they need supplies, they need a place to go to evacuate. So honestly, I understand that there are some people that are not going to be able to flee, and hopefully they are able to get to the safest places they can within the city. Tampa is the single most vulnerable city in the U.S. for hurricane storm surges, thanks to a mix of fatal factors colliding to create catastrophic conditions that should it take a direct hit from a major storm like incoming Hurricane Milton, according to experts. About 50% of more than 3 million people living around the Tampa Bay area reside at elevations less than 10 feet above sea level. In a 2015 study from disaster consultants Karen Clark and Co., meaning that millions of homes could be severely flooded if Milton's 15-foot storm surge comes to fruition. Tampa Bay was last hit by a major hurricane in 1921, when just a few hundred people lived in sparsely developed backwater towns, and the community, and Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Boomer, for becoming a member of the Church of Mo. We appreciate dark chocolate, sarcasm, and maybe maladaptive coping mechanisms, such as those two I mentioned in the beginning. But you know what? The only thing we don't allow, those plastic recorders. Those things are audio assault weapons, so everyone is welcome. Absolutely, Jude. I think there I think that the dire warning that the mayor gave was harsh and real, but there also is reality. I mean, you can you hear me? Okay, let me check my audio, but I thought it was okay. Yeah, my mic's picking up. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, okay. I have so much residual Catholic guilt that I'm like, "Oh my god, what did I do wrong?" Y'all, this is why I don't understand Sarah Boone at all. She is walking around like, no guilt whatsoever, and oh my gosh, I have residual guilt from things I didn't even do. That's why she is the hardest person to kind of get in the mindset to play, because I'm like, "Wait a minute, you go around without a big pile of guilt on your back? How does one do that?" The area is practically tailor-made to create severe storm surges due to shallow depths in the bay and the surrounding Gulf Coast. Waves blown in by heavy wind can pile up and create a deadly wall of water, MIT meteorology professor Carrie Emanuel told the Post. Good morning, Photo Lady 12. Quote, storm surges are physically the same thing as a tsunami, but they're created by wind rather than a shaking seafloor, he explained. Imagine a wave coming up to a place where the water is getting shallower and shallower and shallower. It has to slow down, Emmanuel added. The front of it is slowing down faster than the back of it, so it's like a traffic jam. One car starts to slow down, then another cars start to pile up behind it, so it's the fluid equivalent of that. You know what I love? I love when experts explain things in ways that are easy for us to consume. I So this guy explaining that makes a lot more sense than, well, the fluid viscosity and dynamics means that there's more, friction at the front end and less at the back end, quantitating a giant wave right over my head. This guy, it's like a pileup. You got, a guy that refuses to go above the speed limit. Uh, so I get that much more. And I appreciate experts that kind of bring that down to my, general level. The shape of Tampa Bay itself also exacerbates that effect, Emmanuel explained, with its narrow opening and the channel further amplifying the surge's pileup and sending it across the surrounding region. Quote, the water is piling up left and right. It's not just piling up from the bottom. You'll have to squeeze all that energy into a progressively smaller place. It literally just gets funneled. Finally, if Milton lands just north of Tampa, its counterclockwise rotation will slam winds and rains directly into the bay. Just one more factor that led Emmanuel to agree with Karen Clark and Co.'s assessment that Tampa faces surge dangers unlike any other state in the United States. The area has become one of Florida's most bustling regions since it was last hit by a hurricane, leading experts to fear residents might not be aware of what could be coming and choose to ignore evacuation orders. Quote, unfortunately, there will probably be a higher proportion of people who refuse to leave when they ask to evacuate. Milton strengthened to a Category 5 storm again Tuesday after a brief lull Monday night. Sustained winds are blowing at 165 miles per hour. Now, you guys are going to have to forgive me for this because I am not a meteorologist. I don't even have the boobs that tell weather like the mean girl chick. But basically, the big issue with Milton, from what I have understood while watching a lot of Ryan Hall, Milton has a very small center. Oh, look at my abstract hurricane. But because the center is so small, those winds around can get so incredibly fast. Now, I'm sure Ryan would be able to explain that with like math and science and such. But that's kind of what I've taken as a, well, and then I try to be all graceful and I kick the thing with my daggone chair. It works. But that's what I kind of understand from what I gathered from all of the things. Now, I have heard, and I also watch DW Pro like it's my job because for some reason, hearing about how much Disney sucks gigs makes me happy. Don't ask. I have weird things that make me happy. But a lot of people have said if you are going to be trapped in a storm, Disneyland or Disney is the best place to be because in the past they have taken really good care of their guests. I don't know about all that. Uh, and I am so sorry, Fundian. You know what? If we need to do something, we will do a fundraiser. I'll have someone else set up the clickety clackety parts because like I said, I am dead awful with computer stuff. But if we need to do a, fundraiser, we will absolutely do that because, it what sucks for a lot of the rest of Americans is that we feel helpless. We see what's going on with Helene, or at least I speak for me. I feel helpless because I'm hoping that the things that we're donating are getting to the places they need to go. I hope that people are getting help. And right now it seems like one big cluster F. Now, the sustained winds are blowing at 165 miles per hour. And that brings another absolute scary thing. We have so many debris or so much debris from Hurricane Helene that these are going to become missiles. These are going to become, debris that will become battering rams and all sorts of things. It is I think it might be you, Alice G. I don't know. YouTube is being really weird lately, and I have no technical skills with which to help you. I wish I did. Tampa could still be spared from the worst of the storm, as some trajectory predictions are suggesting it could make landfall south of the bay, with differences of just 10 to 20 miles seriously lessening the impacts created on Tampa's topography. Still, other predictions place the storm landing north of Tampa or right at the heart of the bay. Forecasters, however, have cautioned that it's still too early to know concretely where the storm will strike, and its landfall won't be known until Wednesday morning or early afternoon. Yeah, this is scary. Again, if you can't flee, if there are things, if you are a farmer, if you have, that kind of things, please be safe, please be careful, and I will be praying for everyone. Just, it is really scary. Now, in things that are also really scary, but mostly just for me, because who the hell would do this many burpees? And I mean, honest to God, who the hell does this many burpees? I'm a recovering Catholic and I don't hate myself this much. Okay. An Oregon man completes 1,027 chest to ground burpees in 1 hour. That's a no for me, dog. Just count me right out of that whole competition. My goal in this year is to do one complete burpee, not 1,000. This is just not going to happen. A member of the Oregon Army National Guard may have reclaimed a Guinness World Record title by performing 1,027 chest to ground burpees in 1 hour. Major Thomas Vu, 36, an officer in the Oregon National Guard's Medical Command, previously said, oh, spirit matter. Okay, a burpee is where you stand up and then somehow you flop yourself on the ground, do a push-up, and then bounce your ass back up like gravity doesn't exist. Now, I will show you guys on the dry erase board of terror because burpees are insanely terrifying to me, mostly because I lack any sort of coordination. Ooh, this eraser works well. All right. So you start and then you go, well, for me, look, imagine you're doing a hand or a sit up, okay? So you go down, you push up, and then you hop right back up with a big old damn smile on your face. If you believe that shit is possible, which I don't. So you stand up, you go down, squat down, and do a push up, and then you jump back up like gravity doesn't exist. I have never been able to complete one of these without cursing. I don't know if that's just, me. Maybe cursing is just my thing, but no, burpees are the devil, and I won't be doing them. Yeah. So he did complete 1027. Now, he had previously done 1003 in March 2023, but his feat was later outdone by a Dutchman, Hab- Habtuma Frank, who did 1010 burpees in 1 hour. Vu attempted to retake his record Saturday, and he finished his attempt with 1027 burpees in 1 hour. Yeah, I look, it why did they name it burpee? Because Satan's push-up just didn't sell. Demonic, progression of terribleness was too long. Like, or you burp when you do it. I don't know. Hells yes. Hells yes, burpees suck. Not as much as flutter kicks in my experience, but flutter kicks suck too. There was a reason I failed out of basic training, okay, you guys? Honest to God, hand to the Bible, I am the only one in my family who failed out of basic training. It's okay now, but for a little bit, it was like, you failed basic. I was like, well, what can you do? Let's see here. Evidence from his attempt must now be reviewed by Guinness World Records to determine if he successfully recaptured the title. I mean, sir, way to go. This is awesome. I'm glad you did this for you, but holy fazolies, you would not you would not catch my fluffy behind doing this. In more important or interesting news, and I'm glad she's doing better, but The Office star Jenna Fisher revealed that she had a breast cancer diagnosis. Um, and this one hits home to me. The my oldest 2 girls, their grandmother is a breast cancer survivor. I lost my, grandmother one of my grandmothers to breast cancer, and we might not agree on everything, but I am so glad that my girls have their Mima in their life and that she was able to be cancer-free for almost 20 years now. So, definitely, glad that she is doing better. Jenna Fisher revealed that she was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. The Office alum who played Pam Beasley on the NBC sitcom announced the news via Instagram Tuesday in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Quote, back in October 2023, I posted a photo of myself on Instagram preparing for my routine mammogram with a joking reminder to take care of your ticking time bags, a la Michael Scott. After inconclusive results on the mammogram due to dense tissue, my doctor ordered an ultrasound, Fisher's post began. They found something in my left breast. A biopsy was ordered. Then on December 1st, 2023, I learned I had stage 1 triple positive breast cancer. The 50-year-old actress shared that she underwent treatment and is cancer-free. I am so happy for her. It is terrifying when you get, these results and have to deal with this. Uh, After completing surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation, I am now cancer free, she wrote. However, the road to recovery was challenging. Fisher went on to reveal that she had a lumpectomy in January to remove a tumor, or the tumor, which luckily hadn't spread because the doctors caught it early. Due to the aggressive nature of her cancer, the star required chemotherapy and radiation. And what sucks about all these treatments for cancer is they basically try to unalive you to save you. It's the amount of toxins and poisons you have to put into your body to, basically delete the cancer. It's a it's a freaking war zone on your body. It stinks. If you know anyone who's going through a journey like this, just call and check on them. I know there's a lot of days where things slip our mind. We have, groceries to go get, gas to go get. We've got well, if you're me, you got 900 children to get everywhere. But if you know someone that's going through this, maybe going through something long term, try to make it a point to reach out to them. They Nothing helps more when you're going through a difficult thing than having someone check on you and being willing to just listen to you vent, complain. I call it sitting through hell with me. I There is nothing harder than when you're going through hell and no one knows the right words to say. No one has any words to say because there aren't words to say. But so one of the strongest and most wonderful gifts in my life has just been a friend that said, "Hey, you're going through hell, and I'm just going to sit here, and we don't even have to talk. But just know that someone's sitting here going through that hell with you. You have a friend." And that was one of the most incredibly powerful and lovely gifts I have ever received in my life. She underwent 12 rounds of weekly chemo starting in February and began her 3 weeks of radiation in June. Fisher was also treated with infusions of two other medications. "I'm happy to say I'm feeling great," she shared in her Instagram post, revealing she's making the best of her recovery. Quote, "I lost my hair during chemotherapy, but thanks to some great wigs and hats with hair, which my family affectionately call wigettes, I've been able to wait until now to reveal all that's been going on for me." Fisher continued, added, "I'm making the announcement for a few reasons. One, I'm ready to ditch the wigs. Two, to implore you to get your annual mammograms. You can also ask your doctor to calculate your breast cancer risk assessment score and get additional screenings required. I'm serious. Call your doctors right now. In fact, I need to, get my appointment re upped because I do have several family members that have had the markers and such, and I need to get that explored. But I'm gonna tell you, I have put it off because dealing with one kind of weird diagnosis the last 3 years has put me into a tailspin. So, I do need to get that done. It is definitely going to get done. I needed to get my head wrapped around everything because the person who told me about all the people in the family having this were like, it just was a bombshell I wasn't ready to deal with, and my maladaptive coping mechanism is just ignoring things, but I do have it on the schedule. My doctor is aware, so we are going to be doing some blood screenings, I think, and just making choices after that. I have no idea what to expect. I honestly don't even wanna research it, to be very honest with you, because Google will make everything 10 times more terrible. Doctor Google makes my anxiety go. Let's see, I waited 6 months, longer, things could have if I had waited 6 months longer, things could have been so much worse, she explained. It could have spread. Seeing women post, photos of their mammogram appointments on Instagram needled me into setting my own, which I was late for. I'm so glad I did. Consider this your kick in the butt to get it done. Suddenly, everything in your life is geared around one thing: fighting cancer. She shared 2 photos of her journey. Uh, Let's see. Fisher posted an image of herself with a patchy pixie looking happy and healthy to go along with this news, and another one showing her ringing the bell at the end of her cancer journey. So, what an amazing testament. Again, please, if you know you have risk factors, if you don't know you have risk factors, go in, get tested, get checked. I will say, though, public service announcement, because I'm about ticked off with this whole mammogram and having to squish the tatas. Okay? Here's the thing. If they tested for testicular cancer the same way they tested for breast cancer, we'd have a whole lot more comfortable testing for that. Get on that, NASA. Come on now. We can make something that doesn't feel like, ancient torture for the chesticle region to figure this shit out, right? I'm just saying, if we tested for testicular cancer the same way, here's 2 plastic plates, we're gonna squish the hell out of you, we'd get some more comfortable tests. Who's with me? I say we demand this from NASA or whoever has to do these things, I don't know. Well, looks like justice is getting done here, and Lord Chippy may be on the back burner because this dude got life. Quote, "We think you'd be a great fit. A man who lured au pairs to his newspaper-covered home to SA them learns his fate." A Michigan man who targeted victims, including 2 minors and a woman he lured from Italy, then sexually attacked them through a messaging service connecting au pairs with host families who need childcare and housework will spend the rest of his life in prison. Yes. Do I care? No. I hope he gets Gen Pop justice all the time. Oh, good Lord. What the hell is this name? I feel like Key and Peele on that thing. I'm going to call you A. Ron. Arsknight Arkin Everett Winfrey, or A. Ron, as I'm going to call him now, 32, learned his fate on Monday for exploiting in the sexual fashion for people from in 2022, the U.S. Attorney's Office announced in a press release. He was convicted on multiple charges, including kidnapping, coercion, enticement, attempted coercion and enticement, and production of child grossness for the internet. Let's see. Quote, Arsknight Winfrey Aaron is a predator whose horrendous acts caused immeasurable harm to women and girls upon whom he preyed, said U.S. Attorney Mark Totten in a press release. This life sentence is necessary to protect the community and bring a measure of justice to the survivors. Hell yes. On September 5th, 2022, through a website, aupair.com, Winfrey contacted a young woman living in Italy, lying about his family needing an au pair for his niece. "We think you'd be a great fit," Winfrey told the young woman at one point and asked her to reach out on WhatsApp to further discuss details. He helped her make travel arrangements, including a link to register for a visa waiver program and instructions to tell the U.S. immigration authorities she was traveling for tourism rather than work. She flew from Italy to Detroit on October 12, 2022, taking a bus to the East Lansing residence he co-owned with his mother, court documents said. When she arrived at the home, she found that all the windows from the ground floor were covered in newspapers and noticed that the house lacked any toys, clothing, or evidence of a typical things that you would have if you have a toddler or feral children around. When pressed, Winfrey told the victim that she, quote, had to take care of the niece only 2 weeks per month and asked her instead to clean his house. The day after she arrived while the victim cleaned his house, Winfrey handcuffed her hands behind her back, placed a ball gag in her mouth, and raped her as he filmed the act and told her to say on camera loudly and repeatedly she consented to the acts. Never mind. Would all attendants for Lord Chippy please come to the front of the thing? We are going to need to put this on extra slow. Nope. Afterwards, she told him she wanted to go back home to Italy. He told her not to say anything to anyone and intimidated her by saying he worked for the US government, court documents say. Now, I do have a question because I would think aupairs.com would do a background check on both the au pair and the potential family. Maybe that's why he wanted to move the communication off site to WhatsApp. But, sir, I hope in Minecraft, allegedly, Raja Mahan, do not come at me for this because I think if you disagree with me on this, then we need to have some talking because you need a mama honey badger to explainarate some things to you. But if I happen to hear that he gets some gen pop justice, I'm not gonna pray. Not gonna pray. Nope. I'm gonna be cheering there with some damn popcorn. Ugh. Then at around 2:30 a.m. on October 14th, 2022, he removed her restraints, ordered her to get dressed and pack, and then drove her to a bus stop where he left her. The woman called her boyfriend in Italy, and her family arranged for her to return home. She arrived in Milan on the following day and went directly to the hospital where she was administered a kit. Yes. Yes. I saw a story. This is kind of a tangent, but it's not. I saw a story. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the case in France where this demonic evil monster husband would basically incapacitate his wife with drugs and then let whoever and whatever come in to grape her and film the whole thing. And do you know what that badass, awesome woman did? Do you know what that woman who has fought more than I will ever imagine did? She released that tape because the shame is on those men, not her, and especially her husband. I haven't done a story yet because I kind of want to see where this ends on that. But absolutely, what a badass move for this woman to go get a damn, kit done because those are so incredibly invasive after you've already done something that completely, or have been through something that is completely dehumanizing and, reduces you to just a body. So, what incredible bravery to still go on and get a kit. So this, sack of human feces can be held accountable. During a search of Winfrey's home that December, the FBI seized 10 firearms, more than 79 grams of nose bump powder, other narcotics, scales, and other evidence of drug trafficking and sexual devices. On a cell phone, authorities found photos of the Italian au pair naked and in compromising positions with blood on a pillowcase by her face. Authorities also linked the defendant to another au pair and two minors. He flew the other au pair to his home in September 2022. When she got there, she noticed the home's windows were covered with, and there were cameras, knives, and force multipliers inside. Also, no signs of children. Her family called the police requesting a welfare check 2 days after she arrived, and with the help of law enforcement, she was able to gather her things and return to Texas. One case involving a minor, Winfrey picked up a 17-year-old high school student he'd been talking to on Instagram for months and engaged in acts with her at his home, authorities said. On the bedroom camera, because apparently this creepo had all of them everywhere, authorities found still photos of the teen engaged in activities with Winfrey, court documents said. The other case involving a second minor, he asked a 16-year-old girl to send him pictures on her Snapchat and WhatsApp engaging in, unclothed activities. Now, let me explainarate what I would do if I were president. Hey, parents, families, brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, neighbors, post people that know these chicks, these women, these warriors. Would you like to come over and take care of this bag of human feces? I'll give you 15 minutes and I don't see nothing. This is why I'm not a judge. But let someone try this with my daughter. Y'all, I will be doing burpees all the daggone day just to have the agility to jump over that defense table and clock someone real good. Now, I might only get one punch in. I'm telling you what, I am not coordinated. I have never, fought anyone in my entire life, but you hurt one of my kiddos, I will train. I will become Rocky effing Balboa in this ever, okay? And the one where he wins. I don't remember which one that is because I didn't really watch Rocky all that much. But I will be doing some damn training. I will join a CrossFit, gym, and it is gonna be on like Donkey Kong when I get up to that witness stand, because that bailiff's gonna be leading me. I am gonna take a swift turn, you know, I'm just saying, allegedly in Minecraft, this might have happened if things happen. Do not piss off a honey badger mom. And of course, we've got more Diddy news because why not? Everyone is coming out of the woodwork. If I will say, in my speculation, fully acknowledging that I don't know the full story, but I think this has the power to break Hollywood more so than the Epstein case. I think that people are going to get exposed. I don't think Diddy was as good as maybe keeping all the recordings sort of within the government control, allegedly in Minecraft, if you have a tinfoil hat. Uh, I think that this is going to really blow the lid off of Hollywood. Sean Diddy Combs doused victim in lubricant mixed with, the date grape drug to make her easier to assault, a lawyer alleges. Now, this has been conjecture, but it does seem to be corroborated by this witness that those bottles of baby oil were mixed with something else to kind of incapacitate his victims. This seems to corroborate that, but we haven't gotten, actual documentation. That I do believe there's a 334-page arrest report or police report out there from what I've seen from other creators. I haven't dug into it. You guys, I have 6 children. I barely function finding, stories in the morning sometimes. Yes. So apparently, some of these things can be absorbed through your skin. So people went in and thought that they were getting, according to the allegations, were thought they were going in and getting massages, and they were incapacitated. Um, I don't know what part of your soul is broken to do this at such an industrial level. I I look, I hesitate to use the word demon because I think it's kind of a caricature, but this man obviously has something real wrong with his soul. If he was able to do this not only to one person, but to a bunch of people and all the other craziness. The unnamed victim has was allegedly forced to remove her clothing when Combs threatened her with a knife, lawyer Ariel Mitchell Kidd told News Nation this week. The music mogul then supposedly squirted the woman all over her body with some type of lubricant or oil, after which she noticed herself becoming more and more limp, the lawyer said of her client's alleged ordeal. The victim did not recall being forced to consume any, drugs, but the oil can be a conduit for Rohypnol or GBA or GHB, the so-called, date grape drug. I'm here for the petty. I am all here for the petty Jedi Jess. I will have to look him up. So in order to get that topically to take into someone's body, you need a conduit, which is typically oil. I did not know any of this. Like this sounds like some demonic alchemy that someone did in the middle of the night. So it seems to me that there were some kind of drugs mixed in with the oil, which is why he was dousing her within that oil prior, not only to make it easier to assault her, but lowering her defenses. After he doused her with a mysterious liquid, Combs allegedly raped this lawyer's client, as did he, his bodyguard, and a third person. Mitchell Kidd said she plans to file a complaint on behalf of her client later this week. Quote, the details are graphic, and the complaint lays out all the details. She was finally able to get away after the gruesome attack, she told News Nation of the alleged assault. It was not immediately clear if the client Mitchell Kidd was discussing was the same client who previously said she was lured to Combs' house and assaulted in 2018. That victim, who was also unnamed, filed a police report after the incident, Mitchell Kidd said last week. Combs, 54, has been behind bars since September 16th when he was arrested in New York City for racketeering, sex trafficking by force, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. He was accused of using drugs to keep his victims quote unquote compliant during violent and sometimes days long freak offs. Last week, more than 120 victims announced plans to file lawsuits against Bad Boy Records founder for alleged SA and exploitation. The tidal wave of complaints were split evenly by gender and spanned 30 years, including 25 minors, one 9-year-old boy, attorney Tony Busby said of the horrifying allegations. The children Combs allegedly abused were, quote, seeking TV or music careers with the promise from Combs, I'll make you a star. Accusations will implicate, quote, many powerful people, Busby promised, though he noted that he is giving some A-listers a chance to pay up. No, no, we don't let these people get away with it. I don't care if you give me all the money. Oh, I am low on magnesium, so that's a good thing to know. Combs and his legal teams have repeatedly denied the allegations against him. Now, I say this with the full pettiness that I hope you get a full use of your due process, and then we lock the door on your jail cell and throw away the key, you gross, disgusting, soulless person. If all these allegations are true, if the state proves them, you're out. I don't care what happens to you. We'll have you test Boeing airplanes, okay? We'll make you at least useful. So, in first world problems, airline passengers claim they were kicked off of a plane by a male flight attendant for wearing crop tops. Now, I think they have a picture of this. If people have, dress codes, all you all had to do, I know it's gonna hurt your soul to cover your midriff. I understand that this is a terrible thing for genlennials and people to do. All you had to do was, button up your tops there, you ridiculous cows. This is why I get ashamed to be a woman. This makes me wanna go full Bronca, I swear to goodness. I mean, honest to goodness, you guys both have, big old sweatshirts on. You could have buttoned them up and, dealt with being just a little bit modest for 5 minutes and inconvenienced, although fair point, and I am not lying. If I get to my goal weight, the amount of crop tops, I will have no shame. Let's be real. And no one really wants to see my midriff after 6 kids. It'll be flat up here with this, like, sad little hangy bit where my stomach expanded for 6 children. So, I probably won't wear crop tops, to be very honest with you, but if I manage to get, like, abs for some reason, like for Christmas, I would be wearing all the crop tops, but maybe not in public. 4 passengers, including one toddler, were supposedly forced to deboard Spirit Airlines because of 2 of the passengers' crop tops. Spirit Airlines passenger Teresa posted a series of videos on October 6th in which she detailed her experience before she was taken off the aircraft. In her now viral post on Instagram, Teresa claimed that a sexist male flight attendant forced her and her friend to go back to the gate because of their outfits. Hi, friends. This is usually not the type of post I share on here, but I wanted to make my story because I'm still in shock. She wrote, my friends and I had a terrible experience on Friday on the flight 387 from LAX to New Orleans with Spirit Airlines. We were harassed by a male flight attendant who told us to cover up because we were wearing crop tops. Also, yeah, from Spirit Airlines, the airline that is the Waffle House of the sky, seems a little, my guess is they were being, amazingly thunder cowy to this particular flight attendant, and they were righteously kicked off for their attitude and not their shirts. Call me crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and call it for that. The first video shared by Teresa shows her sitting next to her friend on the plane. Teresa could be seen wearing a white spaghetti strap tank top with a green and white striped sweater placed over her chest. The two travelers were wearing their sweaters when they boarded the plane, but reportedly removed them once they were on the aircraft because they were too hot. Uh, Again, you want to be a real feminist? There are girls that are being married off to men 60 years old. There are, women being unalived because they didn't wear the hijab or the niqab right. You know, we want to talk about actual women's there are plenty of places where women don't have basic rights to learn to read, to not be raped for honor, revenge rapings. We could bring all this up. I have no problem with feminists if they want to go after this, but this kind of BS is what makes people want to repeal the 19th Amendment. And by people, I mean me. I'm kind of okay just staying in my kitchen, but I'm a homebody and I like to bake. So really, I don't really have a dog in this fight. Now, according to Teresa, everyone, including flight staff, agreed that her and her friend's crop top weren't against their dress code, despite the male flight attendant's complaint. Quote, he then continued to treat us poorly and give us no reasoning as to why he wanted to kick us off, she said of the male flight attendant. Other passengers joined in and tried to defend us, but ultimately, like a supervisor told us that we could either leave the flight or she would bring the police. Before they left the plane, the supervisor allegedly promised them that she would rebook their flights. However, Teresa claimed the supervisor said there were no flights and refused to give them a refund once the women were off the plane. In the videos on the plane, Spirit Airlines staff members could be heard asking passengers to stop recording the interaction. Teresa and her friend were supposedly joined by her mother and a toddler. Again, my guess is you were asked to simply put your sweatshirts back on because it was somewhat against company policy. Okay? And quid pro quo, I do not know. But just, again, we have babies that were washed out of the arms of their mother. We have entire families that are wiped off this face of the earth. We have, people we don't even know the actual number of people that were lost just in the last 2 weeks. And this is what you decide to go to TikTok to use your influence to bitch about? You have got to be MFing kidding me, okay? I am sorry. I have no chill for this kind of crap. I have no chill for this. You guys probably had a stank attitude and, didn't listen to instructions. You're not in charge of the airplane, Sarah Boons. I don't care if you have all the little abs and a little cute, belly button ring that you really want to show off. You are not Rosa Parks. Shut the hell up. If you want to fight for justice, there are a lot of injustices actually going on. This kind of ish pisses me off. Yeah, it's just amazing that people are this is getting as much air as it does. And that's why I say there's definitely more to this story. They were probably being a bunch of thunder cows, not listening to instructions, and when they rightly got the consequences, uh, you know, of that act of them being thunder cows, they're like, "Oh my god, the world is oppressing me. It's because I have a crop top." No, it's probably because you had a stank ass attitude. I'm gonna get comments. These heifers are gonna call me, "We were not having attitudes. It was sexism." And I'll be like, "Okay, fine, whatever. I don't have time to." Sure, sure. Well, P. Diddy may have a Vince in his corner. I don't know what the hell is going on with the WWE, but here we go. Quote, prove it, end quote. Ex-WWE employee's latest demand could be really bad news for Vince McMahon in a trafficking suit over quote, dream that quickly became a nightmare. A former employee who earlier this year filed an SA and human trafficking lawsuit naming the WWE its former chairman and CEO, Vince McMahon, and former talent executive John Laurinaitis, seeking to quote unquote void a non disclosure agreement she signed in 2022, is now demanding that the WWE quote unquote prove it's committed to change by releasing current and former employees from NDAs, a move that would open the door for other women to speak out while the Connecticut federal case is in a holding pattern amid a federal probe. Plaintiff Janelle Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, said in a letter Monday to the WWE attorney, Daniel Toll, McMahon attorney Jessica Rosenberg, and Laurinaitis attorney Edward Brennan, challenging the WWE and its parent company Endeavor to prove it, namely that they could take Grant's claims very seriously and accordingly respond by publicly waiving enforcement of existing NDAs for current and former employees. Quote, this includes releasing women who have signed NDAs related to sexual misconduct by the former CEO, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and other WWE leadership and employees as conditions of settlement, the letter said, referring to a 2022 Wall Street Journal reporting on McMahon agreeing to make hush money payments to 4 women. Quote, the toxic and sexualized culture of the WWE during Mr. McMahon's tenure as CEO and chairman was open and notorious, yet what has been publicly reported is only part of the picture. We have had witnesses come to us confidentially and describe the sexualized culture at WWE that victimizes more women and men. We have received reports that many victims are currently afraid to come forward because of punitive non-disclosure, non-disparagement agreements. WWE cannot move on from its sordid past while victims remain silenced. The letter continues, slamming the NDAs as unenforceable and coerced. WWE must clarify that any NDAs that were entered were not intended to prevent disclosure of misconduct, abuse, or assault, and disclaim and waive or any claims it has under those NDAs if current or former employees or contractors choose to speak out. The plaintiff's legal team maintains that the ending of NDAs has precedent amid the fallout in cases of Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer. Law and Crime requested comment from the defendant's attorneys about Grant's letter, but they did not immediately respond. In January, Grant filed a 67-page lawsuit claiming that McMahon took advantage of her personal hardship in life and dangled career-making and life-changing promises for her at the workplace in 2019, offering her a job at WWE. Quote, McMahon befriended Miss Grant, giving her hopes of a new life with promises of yet-to-be-determined role at WWE, showering her with attention and assurances, along with gifts like a VIP experience at WrestleMania, the suit said. But what seemed like a dream in the spring of 2019 quickly became a nightmare. I am going to pause here. Ladies, young ladies, especially to you, listen to a woman who is 40 now. But when I was a tiny Mo, and I know you have this, I know we all have this, and we ignore this because we want to be kind and, understanding and not judgmental. But if that little voice inside you is telling you something is sus, please listen to it. It's not hateful. It's not, disagreeable. It's not, being a thunder cow to listen to that voice and say, something doesn't sound right here. Something doesn't feel right. I feel very, very uneasy and I can't explain it in words. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to, rationalize it. Listen to that little voice. By the grace of the power greater than me, I was saved from some of the dumbest things I have ever done because I ignored that little voice. And I tell my kiddos every day, my girls and my boys, listen to that little voice. If something feels wrong, but you can't explain it, don't assume that it's because you're a judgmental person or, it's just your nerves or things like that. listen to that inner voice. It is picking up on something that, you know, you don't realize. But 9 times out of 10, my inner voice has been way right. The other time, I'm not gonna lie, I did make Mr. Mo shave his head bald, on my 5th pregnancy. I thought he looked really attractive, but looking back, he kinda looks like he needed Make-A-Wish Foundation help. So, you know, it might be that one time. Do not listen. Look, Mr. Mo has learned to never listen to me while pregnant to do anything with his hair because he's got a divotty head and it just did not didn't look great. So, 9 times out of 10, that inner voice is gonna lead you the right way. That 10th time, it's gonna make your husband shave his head bald. But in your defense, you were pregnant and you still thought, "Hey, you had a 6th kid, so it's not like you found him unattractive." Mr. Mo does not like that comeback. Now, according to the plaintiff, McMahon used his power to condition career success upon Grant engaging in a quote unquote physical relationship with him, leaving her to feel trapped in an impossible situation, submitting to McMahon's, demands for a relationship or facing ruin. Miss Grant feared that she had everything to lose and faced negative consequences no matter what happened, the court documents said. Claiming that the entry level job was created for her in the legal department of WWE. The complaint filed with graphic text of a sexual nature that McMahon allegedly sent to Grant alleged that McMahon pooed on her during a threesome. For an entry level job? Ma'am, I'd be out of there faster than, well, my kids when I ask them to do a chore. There are like wily coyote smoke, clouds when I'm like, I need some help cleaning up. Uh, so yeah, ew. In 2020, and then 1 year later, co-defendant Laurinaitis SA'd her inside Laurinaitis's office at the WWE headquarters while colleagues were busy at their desk. Grant alleged that, quote, others at the WWE knew what was going on, end quote, but the WWE actively sought concealing the wrongdoing through an NDA. The lawsuit, which included a copy of the NDA as an exhibit, asked the federal court to issue a declaratory judgment that the NDA was invalid under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, making the agreement void and unenforceable. According to Grant, the NDA came about in 2022 as part of Vince McMahon's effort to avoid divorce, negative publicity, and other repercussions after his wife Linda found out about their relationship. Grant alleged that she was afraid Vince McMahon might go after her through litigation if she refused to sign the NDA, so she submitted to pressure and signed the NDA in exchange for payments, which McMahon later stopped making, only to be subjected to more abuse. Quote, even after pushing Miss Grant out of the company and muzzling her with the NDA, McMahon continued efforts to exploit her, including attempting to traffic her to a WWE star who would be in New York City for a live event and taping in March 2022. Just recently, Sean Diddy Combs was indicted for racketeering and sex trafficking in the Southern District of New York, but only after numerous civil lawsuits. First accused him of widespread wrongdoing. Of note, a lawyer with the very same U.S. Attorney's Office prosecuting Diddy's case is listed as an attorney of record for the U.S. as an interested party in the WWE lawsuit. The DOJ attorney, Sarah Murtavica, was once recognized while in public practice for her representation of a trafficking survivor. Nearly 2 weeks after the DOJ entered an appearance in the case, the court docket shows U.S. District Judge Jeffrey A. Meyer on June 11th wrote that Grant and the defendant mutually agreed to stay the case for a period of approximately 6 months until December 11th. While McMahon has not been charged with a crime and, along with his civil litigant litigation co-defendants has vehemently denied allegations, Grant's attorney has openly expressed that the civil case was paused because the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York is conducting an investigation and sought a stay. As recently as 3 weeks ago, Callis said she was hopeful an indictment would drop soon. In 2023, filing with the SEC, a CNBC report said that the WWE itself revealed that Vince McMahon was hit with a search warrant and a federal grand jury subpoena. So hopefully, if all these things happened, if these allegations are true and the state can prove them, then this gross man who decided to poo on someone can go, well, to a place where, he might not be the alpha, but someone's going to get lucky. Gen Pop justice for the win. Now, our final story will make you happy if you're like me and don't do yoga, but it is being touted as a way to conquer your fear of snakes and yoga, I guess. Look, I am not flexible. I am anti-flexible. Yoga scares the hell out of me. Snake yoga is here to make you squirm and maybe conquer your overwhelming fear. And this is just horrific. This storm, I pray for everyone that is affected and near this. It's just insanity. At one exercise studio, snake yoga is a thing instead of puppy or goat yoga. I could do goat yoga. I could do puppy yoga. Give me a kitten. I will try downward dog and, breathing and being one with the universe. I can't do all those things at the same time, but I would attempt them if you gave me a kitten or a puppy. Now people can relax while having a snake slither up their backs. That'll be a hell no for me. That is a not gonna happen. Now, you want me to do a spinning class trying to get the hell away from the snake. I think you've got a better idea of what would be, a natural progression. Luxury Yoga, a studio in Costa Mesa, California. Are we really shocked that this is from California? Offers the latest trend by way of snake yoga, and people who are scared of the slithery reptiles are the target audience. Nah, nope. Quote, some might say our offering is a gimmick like other animal incorporated yoga, but we truly believe in what we offer, Tess Cow, co-owner of the studio, told People. The purpose is to help individuals overcome their fear of snake through breath. No, ma'am, like a good Midwestern woman, I get over my fear with a Glock. I mean, dang it, filter. I don't have one, but still. Yeah, I mean, like, is there a taser involved? No. No, thank you. I'll keep my fear and be safe from the poisonous snakes around here. Yeah, no. Tess and Hugh bring their own pet ball pythons to the 45-minute, $160. You are charging my ass $160 to try to do poses with a snake? Hell to the no. Where they mindfully incorporate into this gentle yoga class. The 6 snakes are named after crystals because it's California. And the 4 members of the session will randomly draw a crystal to find out which snake is their trusty partner. No, this is like the worst reverse Harry Potter where he figures out that he's getting the, most badass dragon. Hell to the no. This is not happening. Tess said that the serpents are, quote, very social and friendly pets. They're boa constrictors you're putting around your body willingly. This seems like a Darwin Award rating to happen, but go on with your bad self and your little Lululemon. No one has ever been bitten. Our oldest snake is 4 years old, and we've never been bitten either. Of course, the prospect of an attack is terrifying to some. Tess recalled a man and his girlfriend who had opposing reactions to the squirm-inducing process. Quote, she was screaming out of excitement, Tess told SanFranciscoGate.com. He was screaming out of fear. I'm with him. We are, sir, come with me, get away from the land of kale and get you a Glock, okay? It's sad when you crack yourself up. And I get it. There are people that love snakes. I am not one. I know some snakes have really good personalities, and I guess if you connect with a snake, like I connect with Dingus, the cat who doesn't listen to me, I totally get it, but it's just not my cup of tea. No, no, I would be screaming, out of fear like old dude. The reporter covering the yoga session also took part in the exercise, which led Tess to explaining that a snake's movements can be misinterpreted. If you feel any squeezing, that's just her trying not to fall. Um, I need you to see this. Tell me, how does insurance cover this? No, she's just squeezing your neck because she's afraid of gravity. No, no, that is a Crocodile Dundee. We pull out that's not a knife. This is a knife. That's what we do. And I say this with the full acceptance that we have a garden snake. I call Harvey the basement snake. He desperately wants to live with us. He would like to live in our basement. Every couple weeks, I have to get Mr. Mo to get him out by whatever means possible. We don't unalive them. We don't do anything like that. We put them back outside. But yeah, no, Harvey the snake, no. Yeah, that's the you guys, $160 for a snake to choke you out. I mean, if I'm gonna pay $160, there better be well, I'm just saying, Henry Cavill. Could we do Henry Cavill yoga? Because I'd be there. It would be on like Donkey Kong. I mean, if there was do yoga with Henry Cavill, I'd be like, I'm scared of yoga, but I'm willing to try. Yeah, she said she's not like trying to attack you or anything. How comforting. Not only do the participants handle the snakes, but they allow the slithering creatures to roam their bodies while they're still. Savasana, where students lie down on their back with their eyes closed while snakes are placed on their body, feels like a Fear Factor episode, but it's actually good and grounding and relaxing. No, 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 don't try this at home. Do not gift your significant other while they're napping with a boa constrictor. I'm just gonna say it's probably not gonna go over well. I was scared in the beginning, Daniela Tooney recently told the Orange County Register, but now I feel really happy I did it. That revelatory aspect is what Tess is hoping for. Quote, some take our classes for fun, some are curious about snakes, and some really want to overcome their fear of snakes, she told People. But what matters most is that we've seen everyone leave feeling empowered along with a new perspective and appreciation for snakes, not to mention many want their own snake after this experience. Okay, I'm just going to put out a public service warning for everyone and all the yoga people. If you have me lie down and close my eyes and put a snake on me, I cannot be held responsible for both the words that come out of my mouth. And I don't want to brag or nothing, but I am a black belt at the fighting form of just startle reflex. So if I happen to backhand you to the point of oblivion because I do a full body startle, this is not my fault. This is not my fault. It was entrapment. Just a couple housekeeping things since that was the last story. Uh, Sarah Boone, I have the wig, will be narrating her interrogation at 11 o'clock today. I know yesterday I put it up at 10, but I forgot that I have a teacher conference, so I need to go to that. So I will be back at 11. Sarah Boone will have the whiteboard of truth, for her questions that nobody answered. But we will be getting into that since, it's either that or I'm going to binge watch every single, Milton thing, and that's probably not healthy. We will probably do intermittent updates for people during that. But if you need a fun place to just, get on the you know, petty parade and maybe clown a little bit on Sarah and let Sarah speak for herself. It will be a fun thing. I always love playing Sarah, but she is the hardest mindset to get into because I have never walked around not feeling guilty about stuff. And she's just like, I am great. Sarah's great. World is awesome. Sarah is great. I don't know what she has in her internal stuff, but good lord, she must have Hall& and Oates just, on a loop. Sarah. It really is. We need to call it like, well, I don't know, something else. We will come up with a different name. And we will also, at the end of that, I will be reminding you of the projects that you can vote on. I will be putting up a poll in on the community page. You guys will get to pick the next project that I work on during the Sarah Boone case. So I have a paint by numbers, I have a cross stitch, and then I have a diamond painting. So you guys get to pick that. I am almost done with the Sailor Moon cross stitch I am currently doing and trying to haul behind on. So there you go. There are the updates. I hope if I don't see you again at the Sarah stream, that you have a lovely day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, do something nice for someone, do something nice for yourself. And if people are a-holes, screw them. I'll see you guys later.